we'll see Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos taking on Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Just a short time ago, sounds loud enough to reverberate across the Rockies. They're ready for football in Denver as the Broncos get set to do battle with the Washington football team. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start. But I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. The Washington offense ready to take over, and you see Taylor Heineke at the helm in his second season with the football team.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
On 1st and 10, Heineke. He'll buy some time right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll run for the first time with Antonio Gibson. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. The numbers on the ground for Gibson a week ago. 17 carries, 66 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
And, Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one because, to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
And did he put that on a dime? He did. Wow, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And the Denver offense ready to take over for the first time. Get a look at their 8th-year quarterback. His first season as a Bronco, though, Teddy Bridgewater.
And what a first half of the season he's had, leading the NFL in passing yards to this point. He's been a tough man to slow down. So this defense certainly has its work cut out for him.
They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he'll take this up to about the 7- or 8-yard line.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. It's a first down and more for Gordon. There goes Melvin Gordon.
Ooh, he's running. He's running.
All the way home for a Broncos score. Melvin Gordon with touchdown number 29. Too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Broncos have taken the early lead. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2 in the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this will be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Bradley Chubb has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Bradley Chubb continues to round into form. Remember, he had knee surgery in 2019 and followed that up with 8 sacks in 2020, continuing to ascend in the NFL.
To try again after the sack. Heineke, and that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays. Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And on that one, the protection just broke down. You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football. A big-time return there, 40 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. They go play action. Bridgewater. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly. You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team. Now a first carry for the former Tar Heel, Javonte Williams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And a run like that shouldn't surprise anyone who's ever seen Javonte Williams play. Compact, strong, physical runner. He ran for 1,000 yards at North Carolina last year. In fact, there's over 1,100 and 19 touchdowns in addition. And that's despite sharing the backfield with another 1,000-yard rusher, Michael Carter, who's taken in the 4th round by the Jets. Najee Harris and Travis Etienne were taking over him. But many thought that Javonte Williams might be the best back in the draft. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long. Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage. And he'll get in. Touchdowns, Denver. Melvin Gordon becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Broncos are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now 14-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown run coming from Melvin Gordon. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. And here we go on the next drive for Washington. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days. Yeah, they certainly are. But let's face it, partner, they can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They got to take care of business first. Well, this crowd does not like that call. Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback. Heineke on first down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Ford, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. After the sack on first, and pressure coming, and they got him once again. Ford, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed their wake-up call for this one. No points on their first 2 possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Taken in at the 11. A very good punt, but a 16-yard return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Good job there getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a 1st down.
They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 112 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
On 2nd and 10, Bridgewater. That's out to the flat for Gordon. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
You have to ask the question, where was the help? Because it's a little surprising to me that he'd find that much room to run this close to the end zone. He doesn't quite get there, but he sets his guys up with a 1st and goal.
Touchdown, Broncos. Noah Fant with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
McManus's point after is good, and it's now 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Washington offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the 1st half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a give to Gibson. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. This defense for the Broncos, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long. Step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run the toss now with Gibson. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
Antonio Gibson is an absolute dart with the ball in his hands, and he can make you miss, and he can run over you. Took a little while to crack the starting lineup as a rookie, but boy, was he sensational when he did. Went for 115 yards and 3 scores in a Thanksgiving Day clobbering of the Dallas Cowboys. And Washington, they felt like they had a real find when they took him in the 3rd round last year, number 66 overall, and he justified their decision. And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Heineke now looking to throw on 1st down. Escape, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Bradley Chubb in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this 1st half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback. Now it's time to give more credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Bradley Chubb racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack as a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Distance was never an issue, not in this mile-high air, but it doesn't matter what elevation you're at if you don't put it on target. And this one kind of takes off on him.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on 1st down. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 127 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this 1st half.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
A 1st down throw for Bridgewater. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
1st down, Bridgewater. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. Again, he targets Judy, this time the catch made. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he will have the 1st down before he's tackled at the 12.
Well, they're currently the best in the NFL in converting on 3rd down, so it was no surprise there that they picked that one up.
And they've done it in many different ways throughout the season, Charles. Picking it up, running it, throwing it, just effective on 3rd downs all year long. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Well, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him,
He's got second and third down to fall back on.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Cortland Sutton with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Broncos continue to pull away here in this first half. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you've already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the route is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Washington offense set to take over again. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Shotgun handoff to Gibson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Heineke now. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
The second in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. And now off to the races down the right side.
Oh, yeah, that's how we do it.
And all the way home for a Broncos score. Mark that down as an 85-yard punt return. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, he can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
McManus now for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. From the 27, Heineke sliding out of the pocket. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Here's Tressway now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 7. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Melvin Gordon leading Denver's offense back out. And he's found the end zone twice. And now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how has he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense. This play.
Touchdown, Broncos! Jerry Jeudy with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Broncos have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats, but what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right,
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down,
good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Well, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. On 3rd down, here's Gibson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Here's Tressway now. He's been terrific so far. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Fielded at the 20. "35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And McManus able to put it through, and that will do it for this first half. So we are at halftime here on Halloween. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, make sure you avoid the crazies out there and welcome in everybody to this Halloween edition of our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll start out west at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And the Patriots have the lead in the final stages before halftime. Kendrick Bourne, a touchdown reception. From there, we head over to the Pacific Northwest, check on the Seahawks at home in Seattle. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. James Robinson, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Finally, let's get down to the Bayou. Check in on the Saints at home at the Caesars Superdome. And that game's gone to the half, all even at 10-10. In our game, it's Teddy Bridgewater with a standout first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. So here are the Broncos to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. Bridgewater on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. On the slant, completes to Sutton.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
Bridgewater's throw here into the hands of the receiver, Judy. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
And he's got it. Touchdown. Cortland Sutton, his second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Broncos take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up. 4
touchdown passes, carving them up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. McManus's point after is good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And this is, unfortunately for him, a montage he's probably not going to want to keep here for his files.
And I'm not so sure that he would describe it as a spotlight, although it is beating down on him pretty well, as is the rush. He's been hit, harassed, uncomfortable. It's been a really, really tough day for him.
Been sacked 6 times. See all that pressure coming from all angles. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Heineke. He gets it to Humphreys. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. On first down, Gibson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they certainly haven't been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chunking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 40.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. Throwing, Heineke. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So the Broncos coming out now. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defend.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Cortland Sutton, 68 yards. And the Broncos continue to pour it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Extra point from McManus is good. And that will extend this big lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6.